The combine starts in a few days, so what exactly are we looking for? Let's discuss. Hey guys, Diggs Report, back to you with another video, and this one is my combine preview. Now I'm going to go through each position and tell you what to look out for when evaluating these players. With quarterbacks, I know some people get caught up with the accuracy, but you can't get caught up with that at the combine. These guys do not know these receivers. The scouts know that, so they're not paying attention to their accuracy. They pay attention to that to their pro day. But what they can look out for here is their 3-step drop, their 5-step drop, how they're taking the ball, because a lot of these guys have never worked under center. This is the first time they're getting extensive work of what it feels like to go under center. And also, when these guys get a chance to just throw it as deep as they can, that's what you're going to pay attention to, and their footwork. When Josh Allen was at the combine, he got a chance to just let it loose, and he showed everybody just how powerful his arm was. With running backs, I don't really care about what they run at the 40 unless they're considered speedsters in college. I really don't pay attention to that. What I'm paying attention to is their quickness. How quick are they once they get the ball? And also, how natural a runner are they? For example, when they do those bag drills, how many of these guys can just keep their eyes up and just run through those bags, understand where they are, and just cut and turn and do the things you want to see a running back do? How many of these guys can do that naturally, and how many of these guys struggle with it? Wide receiver, this is where you want to pay attention to the 40, but not just the guys that are running the 4.4s, 4.3s, and even 4.2s. Pay attention to what their body type is. For example, if a guy is 6'4", 220, and he's running a 4.5, that's actually a pretty good speed for a guy his body type. And also, who's a natural route runner, who does really good running routes, and who is going to have to work on it once he gets to the NFL. Trust me, scouts and coaches are paying attention to that. And one more thing, when they do the gauntlet drill, what you want to look for is who is catching the ball naturally, who's struggling, and who's running it at full speed. If a guy is running it at full speed and catching the ball really well, he's going to get himself a bump up in his grade. For me, the tight end position is pretty similar to the wide receiver, except you throw away the 40. I'm not really paying attention to what a tight end runs at the 40. A lot of great tight ends don't really run that fast. They just know how to catch the ball and block. Now with blocking, just go to the film for that. You can't really tell how good of a blocker somebody is going to be in shorts and a t-shirt. Just look at the film. But you can look for how good of a route runner they are and how much of a natural hands catcher they are. It's the same thing with the wide receiver, just throw away the 40. Now with offensive linemen, this is where we start to separate the guards from the tackles. When they do the kick slide drill, how many of these guys can naturally do that, just naturally kick slide and get to the player? And how many of these guys are struggling just to get it done? These guys really start to show whether they are a guard or a tackle right here at the combine. And then you go back to the film and make sure that that adds up. Also with their 40, don't worry about the 40, worry about their 10-yard split. If these guys are running a good 10-yard split, that's exactly what coaches and scouts want to see. With the defensive linemen, you're looking at both defensive tackles and defensive ends. For the defensive tackles, how athletic are these guys? Yes, they are big-bodied guys, but some big-bodied guys are really athletic. That's what you're really going to be paying attention to. This is where you start to see how athletic some of these defensive tackles really are. And for defensive ends, who is just a pure defensive end and who can be a defensive end and a linebacker? Remember, some of these guys also do linebacker drills at the end. And if these defensive ends are doing well on these linebacker drills, that means that they can play both defensive end and linebacker. That adds a ton of value when evaluating. Linebackers, you want to start to separate the inside linebackers from the outside linebackers. Who can run sideline to sideline, and who's probably going to have to be outside if you're running a 4-3. And also, who's going to be better in the run game, and who's going to be better in the pass game. Who can drop into coverage, and who's probably going to be best suited in stopping the run. This is another thing that you can start to see at the combine and then go back to the film and say, okay, that adds up. Defensive backs, yes, the 40 is important for them as well because they're covering these wide receivers that can run 4.4s, 4.3s, 4.2s. So they got to make sure that these guys are going to be able to keep up with them. Also, we're going to start to separate the corners from the safeties. Who's a natural corner and who's probably going to have to move to safety in the NFL. It's another thing where you see at the combine, go back on the tape, and that's where you confirm it. Alright guys, so those were a few things to look out for when evaluating each position at the combine, and I'll see you next time.